Crazy-ass Donald Trump attorney, Sidney Powell. Remember she was talking all that trash, lying, oh, the election was stolen. She had all this data, her and that ragged-ass pillow man, Mike Lindell. Well, guess what? She got indicted by Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis, and her punk ass pled guilty today. They're supposed to have jury selection for a trial tomorrow, and that's why y'all see her little poor, look at her little raggedy behind. She pled guilty today, all misdemeanors, and she agreed to actually also testify against everybody else. Her initial charges included violation of the Georgia Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, conspiracy to commit election fraud, conspiracy to commit computer theft, conspiracy to commit computer trespass, conspiracy to commit computer invasion of privacy, conspiracy to defraud the state. She entered the plea a day before jury selection was set to begin in her trial. She pled guilty again to 6 misdemeanors, accusing her of intentionally conspiring to interfere with the performance of election duties. Here's exactly what happened today in court.
Ms. Powell, I just have a few questions for you. Do you understand the nature of the charges that have been reaccused and that you would be pleading guilty to today?
I do, sir.
And you've heard all the rights that the state has gone through that you would waive by going forward with this plea. Do you still wish to waive those rights?
I do.
And are you pleading guilty today because you agree that there is a sufficient factual basis, that there are enough facts that support this plea of guilty?
I do.
Mr. Rafferty, are you satisfied your client is competent in understanding that the plea is voluntary and that there is a sufficient factual basis for entering this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
I agree and find that there is a sufficient factual basis, and I find this plea of guilty to be knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. There's been a request that this sentence be entered under the First Offender Act, and the court will approve that request, withhold adjudication. But I must notify you, Ms. Powell, that you are not allowed to withdraw your plea simply because you do not comply with the terms of the sentence. And the terms of that sentence would be as recommended by the parties. On count 1, conspiracy to commit intentional interference with the performance of election duties, the sentence would be 12 months probation. And counts 2 through 6 would also be 12 months probation consecutive to each other and to count 1 for a total term of essentially 6 years probation, but we're going to translate that into months for the sentence sheet. Special conditions would include a $6,000 fine with $1,000 for each count, restitution to be paid in the amount of $2,700 to the Georgia Secretary of State's office. You are to have written a letter, which you've already satisfied. You're also to provide a recorded proffer with the state, which you've already satisfied. You're to testify truthfully against any and all co-defendants in this matter at any upcoming proceedings. You are not to have any communication with any witness, any co-defendant, or any member of the media concerning the facts or circumstances of this case. And you're to provide all documents to the district attorney's office as requested and relevant to this case. Again, Ms. Young, I would ask if you could provide the state's recitation of the exact phrasing of these, and we'll make sure that's reflected in the final disposition form. In order to make this sentence consistent with Mr. Hall, I do believe it would be appropriate, and I'm willing to include the language involving moral turpitude, although that language being included on the sentence form may not ultimately have any effect on the entities responsible for actually determining that. Are there any other express conditions and special conditions, Ms. Young, that you would like to see reflected on this sentence?
I think you covered it, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Rafferty, is there anything else that you think needs to be on the record today? Ms. Young, do the state have an announcement regarding the indictment in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, the state will be entering an all-pros order on indictment number 23 SC 188947 as it applies to Ms. Powell.
All right. Well, upon being provided a copy of that motion, I will sign it and the charges in the indictment will be dismissed. All right. If there's nothing else, then we will conclude this and be off the record. Good luck, Ms. Powell.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Hey, Lauren, remember all the people who said, oh, Fonnie, what's wrong with her? She moving too fast. She ain't ready. You can't do this here. And they were like, okay, y'all want to get tried in October? bring your ass. Now look what happened. She has testified against everybody. Sidney Powell is a huge, huge get. Finally look like she know what she doing.
Yeah, well, all the lying and the nonsense and the theatrics and Sidney Powell standing next to Rudy Giuliani lying and the bloviating, all of it comes down to this moment. And I'll bet what probably caught up to her are the legal fees. Because when you're paying these attorneys what you're paying these attorneys, you sure as heck don't want to be paying that fee because, of course, there's an extra fee when an attorney makes a court appearance, which was about to happen. And she, of course, is not doing the court appearance. I'm sure that coincided with the first set of legal bills that showed up in front of her that she would have to pay for this. And at some point, I mean, you just have to start telling the truth. The lying, there's typically no penalty for lying in our culture right now, but where there is a penalty for lying is a courtroom and a legal proceeding. And this is a great example of it. And it's going to be interesting to see what she told them with regard to Donald Trump, which I suspect at some point we're going to find out under this prosecutor, Fani Willis, very soon.
I mean, look, that's the whole thing right there, Greg. You could sit there and talk all that trash on television, outside the White House. You can do all that stuff. It ain't no different than Trump sitting here trashing Tish James every single day, and all this sort of stuff like that. And matter of fact, since we talking about, these black female prosecutors, this is Tish just yesterday responding to that racist Trump. Let me come to you, Greg.
He's called me venomous. He's called me disgraceful. He's called me radical. He's called me a racist. And this is only week 3. The reality is that none of his behavior, which can best be described as performative, will change what's happening in the courtroom. The courtroom, as you know, where we have submitted evidence, and the evidence is clear. And that is, he inflated his statements of financial interest to enrich himself and his family. And nothing will change that. Not the attacks on me or anyone. At the end of the day, we are here to seek justice, and we will seek justice. And so I look forward to seeing Mr. Trump again. I understand that he will be returning next week for Michael Cohen. But we are here to enforce the law, and nothing will change that. No attacks, no words. I will not give in. I will not give up. I will only serve justice and enforce the law. Thank you.
You're right there, Greg. Again, you talk all that shit outside the courtroom, but when you walk in that courtroom and you start lying, it's called perjury. When you start making stuff up, it's called your ass in trouble, guilty. And Sidney Powell, when she said, Judge, you know what you're pleading to, right? Yeah, I do. You admitting yeah, I'm right. See, all that posturing, they sat there and they said, okay, these little sisters, they ain't gonna do nothing. Finally was like, okay, keep talking. And they kept talking. They kept going on Steve Bannon's show, Newsmax, Fox News. They kept lying everywhere. And every time they talked, they were like, you taking them notes? You taking them notes? And they using everything against them. And now she got talked. Now she has to testify against everybody. You know the rest of the clients like, oh, hell, let me get in. And y'all, don't be like Michael Vick. Don't be the last one to get your plea bargain in.
Come on now. That's right. Come on, Roland. Don't be the last one. First of all, before saying anything else, all you young people out here who are wondering what difference a historically black college or university makes, you're looking at 2 graduates of HBCUs, and Fani Willis, who went to Howard University undergrad, and a proud graduate of Howard University School of Law, and of course, our sister in New York, who you just heard say, once you come in the courtroom, it's going to be a little different. So when you understand, when you hear Tish James say that, as you said, Roland, that is the theme. You know, law is malleable. If you're in the federal legislature, in the Congress, then yeah, you can ignore a congressional subpoena. You can say that Joe Biden isn't the president. You can be Gymnasium Jordan. But in a court of law, the rule of law is unavoidable. And you're right. Everybody got all that bass in their voice. Everybody screaming in a loudspeaker. And then Sidney, oh, pal, oh, you're in court now. Real meek. Yes. Yeah, sure. Donald Trump talk all that smack outside the courtroom. He ain't in the courtroom saying she's a racist because you ain't trying to get bound up in them handcuffs. Because guess what? You know, them working class people, those bailiffs and stuff, or they be very happy to put that stick on you. You understand? And then finally, it comes down to this. I mean, and Lauren, you said it beautifully. I mean, it's costing her money. See, Sidney Powell ain't even got up to the federal election subversion case with Jack Smith. Uh-oh, who's on the bench? Oh, these black women up on this bench. Lord,
they can't practice law because they trying to snatch that law degree, that law license.
Can't practice law, Roland. And, of course, the money ball, emphasis being on money, are those defamation lawsuits that those voting tech companies have against her. Now, I don't know if your billionaire friends are going to bail you out.
They won't.
The minion, it's a smart man. And, brother, what's worse? We face jail often as people of African descent in this country, but guess what? When you are white that's broke after talking all that smack, Sidney Powell's worst days in court are ahead of her, not behind her.
Hey, Mike Lindell, he already said he broke.
No question.
He broke. He ain't selling as many. He ain't not selling as many of them lumpy ass pillows. Did y'all see the deposition when one of the attorneys said he had a lumpy ass pillow, and that fool just lost his mind. I mean, he started yelling and cussing and acting a fool in the deposition. I thought that was funny as hell myself. So I am getting, I'm getting a huge enjoyment out of, first of all, watching these white people go broke. Because I told y'all, we warned y'all, hashtag we tried to tell you, don't mess around with that fool. He stiffs everybody. That fool owes Rudy Giuliani $3 million. Do you think for a second I would have been out there defending that fool and he owes me some money? Hell no. I would have been like, Cash App, hit me on Venmo or Zelle, direct deposit. But that's what they do. See, they sit here and they mess around with these fools, and that's what they do. That's what they do. Matter of fact, you know what? Since we here, I found a video here. This is Mike Lindell crying because his attorneys dropped him. I just find it look. I'm about to talk to George next, so you know I got to have some comedy leading into talking to George. Watch this.
10 minutes ago, all the
Pillow almost in tears.
lawyers we have for My Pillow and myself in the lawsuits with the lawfare with Dominion and Smartmatic, they just filed in federal court that to drop us as our attorneys, and this comes from the lawfare basically, and from the media, the attacks on My Pillow, what American Express did, just devastating our credit, and we have to. I can't pay the lawyers. We can't pay. There's no money left to pay them.
This is really a tragic tale. Now, it's completely self-inflicted. You don't have to feel bad for the guy, but it is a tragic tale in the sense that he does have an employee-owned company. I mean, listen, it's like he owns most of it, but he has a company with employees in the United States that provide jobs that I think are at least okay. And imagine being one of those employees, and you don't have $200 million or whatever amount Mike Pillow has, and all of a sudden your boss loses it. It's in a way like if you're just calmly working at Twitter and in comes the wrecking ball of Elon Musk, and next thing you know, you're out of a job and the company's imploding.
Yeah.
What's that? Remember that brother with a racist white woman came to the hotel? He's like, it's above me now. It's above me now. I don't give a damn if he go broke. The man, did he used to be on crack?
Oh my God. I don't know. Did he?
Yeah, Mike Lindell used to be on crack. He might need to go back. He might need to go sell us some crack to pay his legal bills. Shit, wait a minute. The drug boys always pay the attorneys up front.
No question.
Mike,
no question.
Mike, get the slanging. Get the slanging them rocks, Mike. The problem is, people think he been using them.
Right.
All right.
You can smoke some of the stuffing in them pillows.
Indeed.